evil. I need to go deeper into the further.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
The story of Insidious, The Last Key, delves deep into the haunting past of parapsychologist Elise Rainier, exploring the roots of her terrifying encounters with the supernatural. The narrative begins with Elise returning to her childhood home in New Mexico, a place filled with dark memories and secrets long buried. From the very first moments, the house exudes a sense of malevolence, with creaking floors, shadowed corners, and a chill that seems to seep into the bones. It is not just a home. It is a manifestation of the trauma and fear that has shaped Elise from a young girl. Her return is prompted by a call for help, but it quickly becomes clear that this journey is as much about confronting her own past as it is about helping others inside the house. Elise encounters her childhood self and memories that are vividly alive, forcing her to navigate between the present and moments frozen in time. The narrative emphasizes the deep psychological horror tied to personal history, revealing that the source of evil is not only external but intimately connected to her experiences as a child. Locked doors, hidden keys, and secret passages symbolize the parts of Elise's mind and past that have been closed off for decades. As she moves through these spaces, the atmosphere is dense with suspense, blending moments of eerie silence with sudden shocks that unsettle both Elise and the audience. The house becomes a character in itself, shaping the events that unfold and reflecting the deep fears she has carried for years. Elise is joined by her trusted team, who bring both skill and humanity to the investigation. Each member of the team has their own strengths and vulnerabilities, creating a dynamic that balances the terror with emotional resonance. Together, they confront a series of supernatural events that escalate in intensity. Objects move inexplicably, doors slam without cause, and disembodied voices echo through the hallways. These phenomena challenge their understanding of reality and force them to rely on Elise's experience and intuition. The film emphasizes that survival is not simply a matter of avoiding danger, but of understanding the underlying patterns of malevolent forces and the history that fuels them. As the investigation progresses, Elise uncovers the presence of a particularly malicious spirit that has haunted the house for decades. This entity, known as Keyface, is tied to a series of tragic events involving Elise's family and childhood neighbors. Its power is not just physical but psychological, manipulating memories and emotions to trap its victims. The narrative explores the ways trauma and fear can be weaponized by supernatural forces, creating layers of horror that extend beyond traditional jump scares. Elise's confrontation with Keyface is both external and internal, reflecting the dual nature of horror that blends the paranormal with personal history. The story incorporates flashbacks that reveal the source of Elise's early fears and the origin of her ability to sense and interact with the supernatural. As a child, she encountered terrifying entities that her family and community could not understand. These experiences forged her path as a parapsychologist, driven by a desire to confront what others cannot see. The film carefully interweaves these backstory elements with the present-day investigation, allowing the audience to understand the depth of Elise's courage and resilience. Each memory, each unlocked door, and each hidden key brings her closer to confronting both the house's spirit and her own long-suppressed fears. Throughout the movie, tension is meticulously built through sound design, lighting, and the pacing of suspenseful sequences. Shadows stretch unnaturally, whispers echo from unseen corners, and sudden movements of objects keep both the characters and the audience on edge. These elements create an immersive experience, making viewers feel as if they are exploring the house alongside Elise. The supernatural manifestations are crafted to be unpredictable, demonstrating the malevolent intelligence of the spirits and the vulnerability of those who encounter them. The horror is psychological as much as it is visual, with the audience drawn into the fragile boundary between reality and the supernatural. Elise's interactions with her team highlight the human element amidst the horror. Moments of tension are interspersed with empathy, fear, and humor, allowing the audience to connect with the characters and heightening the stakes of their encounters. Each member of the team contributes to unraveling the mysteries of the house, but Elise's intimate knowledge of the supernatural makes her the central figure in the battle against Keyface. The film emphasizes teamwork and trust while also exploring the isolating burden carried by those who can perceive the paranormal. The interplay of personal connection and supernatural threat enhances the narrative depth, making the horror feel both immediate and emotionally significant. As the plot develops, the stakes escalate dramatically. Keyface's attacks become more intense and targeted, exploiting Elise's memories and creating scenarios that blur the lines between past and present. The audience is taken through a series of high-tension sequences where reality seems to shift. Walls and rooms transform, and the boundaries of time and space become unstable. Elise must navigate these shifting environments while maintaining focus on the goal of rescuing the trapped spirits and preventing further harm. Each encounter with Keyface reveals additional layers of its malevolence, demonstrating that the entity is not simply a mindless spirit but a cunning force capable of manipulation and psychological torment. The narrative reaches its emotional climax when Elise confronts Keyface in a series of sequences that blend physical danger with deeply personal horror. She uses both her knowledge and her innate courage to face the spirit head-on, confronting the trauma it has stirred within her. The film emphasizes the theme that true bravery is not the absence of fear, but the determination to act in spite of it. Elise's confrontation with Keyface is a culmination of years of experience, personal growth, and emotional resilience. Each choice she makes carries significant risk, not just for herself but for those around her, underscoring the weight of responsibility that comes with her abilities. Resolution in Insidious. The last key comes through a combination of strategy, courage, and the uncovering of hidden truths. Elise unlocks the final keys, both literal and metaphorical, that allow her to free the spirits trapped by Keyface and restore a measure of peace to the haunted house. The narrative emphasizes closure, not only in the supernatural sense but also in Elise's personal journey. By confronting her childhood fears and understanding the events that shaped her, she achieves a sense of catharsis and empowerment. The resolution provides emotional satisfaction while maintaining the eerie, lingering presence of the supernatural world, leaving the audience with a sense of both relief and continued tension. The film's visual style contributes significantly to the storytelling. Dimly lit corridors, shifting shadows, and carefully orchestrated camera angles create a sense of disorientation and suspense. Practical effects are combined with digital enhancements to produce a hauntingly realistic environment, where the supernatural feels tangible. These elements, paired with a haunting musical score, immerse the audience in a world where danger is constant and fear is palpable. The cinematic techniques reinforce the film's themes of memory, trauma, and the unseen forces that can manipulate perception, creating an experience that is both terrifying and psychologically compelling. Character development remains a central focus amidst the horror. Elise is portrayed as both vulnerable and formidable, balancing emotional depth with professional competence. Her past traumas are not simply plot devices but integral to understanding her motivations and responses to the supernatural events. Supporting characters, including her colleagues and those affected by the haunting, provide contrasting perspectives on fear, courage, and resilience. Their interactions with Elise highlight themes of trust, mentorship, and the ethical responsibility of those who confront forces beyond ordinary understanding. These relationships enhance the narrative, grounding the horror in human emotion and connection. The pacing of Insidious. The last key carefully balances suspenseful set pieces with moments of exposition and character reflection. Sudden scares are interspersed with quieter sequences that allow the audience to absorb the emotional stakes and the history behind the haunting. Flashbacks and visions are integrated seamlessly, providing context without slowing the narrative flow. This careful structuring ensures that tension is maintained throughout, with each revelation building upon the previous, culminating in a climactic confrontation that is both frightening and emotionally resonant. Ultimately, the film explores themes of fear, memory, and the enduring impact of trauma, Elise's journey demonstrates that confronting the past is essential to overcoming the present. The supernatural elements serve as both literal and symbolic representations of unresolved fears and hidden truths. The resolution of the narrative emphasizes empowerment through knowledge, courage, and emotional honesty, highlighting that even in the face of malevolent forces, understanding and action can restore balance. Insidious, the last key, thus combines psychological depth with supernatural horror, delivering an experience that is intellectually and emotionally engaging. The movie concludes with Elise emerging stronger and more self-aware. She has faced not only external threats but the internal demons that have haunted her since childhood.